No love lost here for Benjamin Netanyahu, Israel's wartime leader blamed by the crowd for failings they say allowed Hamas to stage its October 7th massacre. Mao's Inon's parents were killed when the militants fired a shoulder-launched rocket at their house.
They promised us security, they promised us governance, and they totally failed, like no other government in the history of Israel.
It's not a huge demonstration, but opinion polls support their calls for Netanyahu's resignation. Some 70% of Israelis want him to go now or right after the war. Many in the crowd were already pushing for his exit. In massive protests earlier in the year against his government's efforts to clip the wings of Israel's Supreme Court.
We're here now because this government doesn't want to finish the war. Netanyahu wants to go on and on because he's afraid of the day after.
Yesterday, Netanyahu rejected Washington's hopes for the day after the Gaza war, including a path to a two-state solution. It speaks to his base, including Isaac Blazer.
I can tell you that I vehemently oppose the two-state solution. I don't want to see it here. And in my opinion, I don't think there is such a thing as a Palestinian people.
But it also speaks to heightened Israeli fears in the wake of the Hamas attacks.
There isn't just, the good fellows that are promoting a two-state solution and those who are trying to undermine it. There are serious questions and challenges of how to manage this day after.
That doesn't mean Israelis will trust Netanyahu. His policy of propping up Hamas at the expense of the Palestinian Authority to undermine peace talks is now an open secret.
He is seen as being personally responsible for the policies that strengthened Hamas over the last 15 years. That he cannot undo, even if he turns around and destroys them.
One more reason for him to go, says Mao's Inon, who wants Western governments, including Canada, to stop supporting what he calls Netanyahu's extremist government.
We must have international conference that both Israeli and Palestinian will be invited, but we must have international intervention.
Regaining Palestinian trust after the devastating losses Israel has inflicted on Gaza is by no means a given either. Margaret Evans, CBC News, Jerusalem.